Hello there, welcome back to Stellaris. I'm Bax, and today we're going to continue, once again, what we have been doing. Again, this is my teaching, or sorry, not teaching, learning campaign, the one that I've decided to do. It's an Iron Man save, so that's good, I guess. But anyways, we are basically done with setting ourselves up. We just need to finish some buildings, get this one done. But basically we are preparing for war now, which is interesting. Let's just put it that way. As you can see, you can actually set ships to prepare, even though you don't have the resources, and they'll just stand by to be prepared for upgrade until you actually have the resources. Then they will take and use them. So it's kind of awkward though, because you could think that you can actually upgrade them when you can't. So it's awkward. But let's see. I've upgraded lasers. I put shields on these things and better power. Motor and sensor. So let's see how that upgrades in terms of fire capabilities. 209 now. What will it be once this finishes up? That's the question, if you will. So let's see. Any second now.
Ships up
295. So I basically almost gained 100 power points, if you will, over that little upgrade. So that's good. But what we need to build is something different entirely. What we want is to build a couple of a couple of destroyers. As you can see, it'll take about 4 to 5 months to actually build one, and I need 4 of these before the war. So in terms of it should not really take more than a year to build it, which is good. But it's going to be awkward because if he has bases, star bases, sorry, not star bases, but what's it called? I'm stuck on my words. This sucks. But if he has starports above his planet, it's going to be a lot harder to take, especially in early game. And late game, they're just annoyance, extra war score, if you will. Wormhole generation rate and wormhole range. This basically means I can generate them quicker and go longer. So that's basically what makes the wormhole so powerful endgame. You can stack a couple of these over on top of each other, and suddenly, boom, you have half the map reach. So I think we're going to go with the UV laser though, just upgrade our power a tiny bit. We don't really need that length of wormholes right now. We might need it later, but not right now. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on the path that I set out. I'm going to keep on making destroyers, and we'll see if we can make something work. And as you can see, a destroyer is almost 100 points, about 90. So 4 of these will definitely beef up my fleet. I'll be right back. There we go, I have my genocidal maniac research, if you will, done. The genetic modification. And xenology. These non... Do I want to find dogs? I don't think so. Let's see, is there anything interesting? Other interesting? Not really, so how about we just go ahead then and find the dogs. I don't know what they're good for. But what really happened now is the thing that is interesting. Because if you go onto your species list, we can find the Bax. And as you see, we have a gene point. And that is from research. If we now go to modify, we can find the thing that will allow us to murder others, which is not here actually. This is bad. Game, why must you do this to me? I could remove the repugnant trait, I could just add a positive one. So, let's see here. Conformist is here, talented is here. Adaptive, agrarian, thrifty, industrious. The one that I want though is not here, because what I needed was xenophobe. I should have taken that instead of enduring. Thing though is, I could in theory just put something in here to help us out. But I think I'll save it and I'll use it on something else. Vulnerable, for instance, get 120 years. But this sucks because I then can't do my murderous thing anyways. As you can see, it will cost me quite a bit of research to actually get this done. I could change our preference. How do I change that then? We have 2 gene points remaining for some things, okay. My plan is ruined. Didn't actually take that long. So in terms of policies, the purge is what I wanted. I wanted basically this one, which means that I need to be either xenophobe or collectivist. Slavery, can I do that? Could I enslave them and then send them to a different place? Orbital bombardment full is probably something we should go for. Let's just put that to full right away. You can change each of these every 10 years. So, in theory, we could make something work, hopefully. Resettlement, if I allow that, I could... I need to figure out how starving works. I might actually have to make a graveyard world where I send things that I don't want. I'm not even kidding. That could be terrible, but it seems to be actually the only case or the only way. Now, full bombardment. Can I actually kill things? Kill the citizens on the planet with full bombardment? Because if I do resettlement, then I can use resettlement as a way to just transfer my people over. The planet will still be a shit planet, which is a problem. I think I'm just going to have to go for vassalization and integration. Clear war, vassalize, yeah. But they're my rivals, so it's a very bad idea. They will not like me at all anytime soon. Ishval, what are you? Do you belong to these guys? You do. That's weird. I might just have made a terrible mistake. I might just have to see if there's a way to edit the trades, but I doubt it. So we'll have to look at that later. But for now, I'll try and just win the war, and then we'll deal with it later. Worst case scenario is that I will end up with basically just having each time I conquer a species, I'll just have to put them in a sector of their own, and hope that they live long and prosper, I guess. But we'll have to see. Purge would be the best idea, even though as terrible as it is actually the legit strat in dealing with these guys, which is kind of sad and annoying. But I'll build up my fleet, and then we'll figure out what to do. We'll see how it goes. Well, the little kitty that we had has been finished, which is good. Now, the next thing is basically what we're supposed to do from here. Ship upgrade cost, leader enhancement, resettlement costs. If we're going to resettle, it could be good to actually just get this thing. But in terms of everything, I think we could just go with, well, get the Galactic Administration for the monthly influence. We can do this thing later. It is basically just a, as you can see, it's a boost to my leaders. So in theory, since it's a rare technology, they don't show up far too often, which is a problem. I should just do this right now. It will basically turn up as a policy that I'll be messing around with just now. And with that, I can say that the only leaders of my people are the ones who have undergone that, which means they have a higher skill level and they'll live longer. So in theory, it's just a good thing. In theory. We'll see if it turns out to be that way in reality. Now, the thing also with building armies is that the ships require maintenance from two things. First and foremost, you have to pay the sailors, but second of all, you actually have to well, fix the ship often. So you need to actually have minerals ready to just do regular maintenance. Now, I'm currently building my last Gather Clans destroyer, and with that, we're going to just go ahead and declare war, see how it goes. If it goes to hell, then, well, GG first game. I'll set up a proper world cleansing army. And as you can see, my influence is capped. So what I should do, the thing is, what you use influence for is basically two things. You use it to build things, and you use it to use these things. As you can see, I can go ahead and, for instance, go with propaganda broadcasts. Why not? Boom, 150. 10 years of plus 10 happiness. Very good. And the thing is, if you only have one planet, you can usually keep this going forever. So you can keep one planet very, very happy. Like I have here. Its habitability is up to 100%. Happiness at plus 6. Most of this is good. Surface wise, we do lack some people, but that's fine. We can deal with that as time passes by. And again, I do have a lot of things to upgrade in terms of all of it is in terms of energy credits. So I don't really have a fear when it comes to that either, which is good. Now the thing is, I can't actually reach the furthermost province, which is a technical issue. But we have the beautiful, beautiful tech where we just build a little bit of a wormhole station and boom, we have our forward operations base. So we're going to do that, build a wormhole tech generator here. We're going to look at how these guys are. They're inferior to us in terms of their fleet. What it basically says is they have a fleet that is, in theory, weaker than us. They're also lower than us in tech, so that's probably why their fleet is inferior. The naval prowess or naval capacity is equal to us, if not higher, due to the fact that they have more land. So this is going to be kind of interesting. I'm probably just going to let my mineral deposits grow while we fight this war. And the reason is actually very, very simple. Once the war is over, if I have to keep all the land, which is very likely, I'll just take it, set up a sector. The thing with a sector is that it's basically like setting up a vassal in theory. I'll show you how it works once we're done. There we go. We got advanced spaceport level 4. One more and then we'll be able to build cruisers. And after that we can build battleships. But it'll take a while before we actually get the tech for that. Projectile mass driver, defense platform, engineering facility, or plasma thruster. I will have to go with plasma thruster. Better movement. So once this is done, we will go ahead and declare war. And I'm pretty sure we will win that war, completely destroy these guys. Now the thing is, they will become my subjects. And I need to make sure that they stay on their 3 planets and that I can actually handle them in the event of a revolt. So it's definitely going to be interesting just to see if I can do that. And as you can see here, state your intentions, beast. Now the thing is, you actually have to state your intention of what you're going to take before the war starts. And as you can see here, I'm going to take all the planets, which means that I can't vassalize them and I can't liberate the planets I'm taking. It will cost me 70 war score. So usually you can't take more than 4 planets a war. So with that, we're going to go ahead and confirm. War started. But here's the thing. You can't just take a planet by solely attacking by air. You need to actually attack by land. So you basically take out defenses with your ships, and then you have to use assault armies to do the actual attack. Now these guys are expensive. They're not really expensive to maintain, but they're expensive to create, especially early game, which makes conquest less viable. But we're going to try and make it try and give it a go. Now they should probably come to help out their own planet here. That's what I'm hoping. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and take advantage, go straight for their capital. I believe this was their capital. We can always check. Quavbari. Yeah, that's their capital. But here's the thing, as I said, my tech works this way. I have to go back to the warp gate to be able to warp out. I basically just create a one-way lane for myself, which is a little bit awkward. So let's just see how this goes when we land in their system. So they have a weak fleet, 200 something power, but they have the other thing there to help out. So this puts us in an awkward situation because it's kind of hard to bait them out of their cozy little safe space, as you might imagine. Let's see if we can attack that and bait them out that way.
Hostile fleet engaged. Hostile fleet
we do have a retreat button, which we're actually going to just use right away.
Research complete.
Because that hurt way more than it should have. I forgot to assign a leader, which is my bad. We have more than enough. I didn't get any good ones, so we'll just hire her. I have more than enough things that I need, so I'm just going to go back and repair. And hopefully this was enough to actually bait them out, because if that was enough to bait their ships out, then it should be very easy to win this war. We also got the UV laser, which is kind of a bad timing, really. But we'll go ahead with the next one. We'll actually go ahead and upgrade our... well, everything here is basically laser-based. She's going to have a field day hike here. So let's go ahead and focus on our engines and power. We're going with a cold fusion reactor, which should help out quite a bit with the new lasers, because if you just focus on one thing, you're going to end up horribly imbalanced and then get killed by anything that comes your way. As you can see, my ships in theory are better than theirs, but thanks to the combination of the what's it called? Orbital platform, something like that. They end up getting the upper hand. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and siege Sepia Vardada, and hopefully be able to take that out. If I can pull that off, I think we will be good, because then I can just take the other planet, and that should actually be enough to make them resign. So I'll go ahead here with the siege, which isn't really that difficult. You can also take your stance. If you see here, my current stance is 4. It will cause 0.50% damage to the planet's fortification each day, multiplied by supporting fleet size. Defending armies will not regenerate health. Pops are unable to work. 50% each month that a pop is killed. 20% chance each month that a building is ruined. 10% chance each month that a tile blocker is created. So in theory, I can use this to destroy their planets completely, which I'm going to experiment with then. Because if I can just keep on sieging until the last pop is dead, then I should, in theory, be able to take advantage of that, because they only have 3 pops. One of them is even a robot here. So if I can kill these guys and make the colony disappear, I would be happy with that, because then I won't have to deal with them. So I'll experiment with that while the army itself is being built, and I'll come back to you if I get a counterattack or anything happens. There we go, the recruitment is done. We also have fleets incoming apparently. I did not see where they went, but that doesn't really matter. Now I've been sieging, but as you can see I haven't actually been able to kill the one pop. So in theory I have no idea if this will work. So we're just going to go with a, to some degree, wild conqueror approach, I think, and see how that works. So we have our armies here. All we need to do is embark. Now these guys are not defended by anything, so you kind of want to be careful with what you do with them. And also you need to, let's see here, gunpowder has been discovered by primitive alien civilization on Valle. This has revolutionized warfare with large cannon, rendering many of the citadels obsolete. The use of explosives also benefited many engineering projects, as troublesome obstacles can now be more easily removed. Even now, the chemists are experimenting with new creative applications for this invention. We shall see how they use this technology, probably for booms. But yeah, if my things go right here, I might just go ahead and turn around and take these guys out as well, because then I can just build 2 where did we run into people? Over here? Well, that's weird. But anyways, because then I can just try and do the king emperor thing, see how that works out. But here my
hostile fleet detected.
Yes, it was a science ship. It actually came here and looked and ran away. So that's a little bit annoying. It can't actually tell the difference between a proper hostile fleet and a not so proper hostile fleet, which is annoying. Now, the assault has begun, but I just realized that I'm back at full everything. So we're going to add some more edicts. We're going to add, what are we actually producing? A little bit of science. Let's just build a basic science building, a basic science lab, a basic science lab, and lastly a basic science lab. Now let's upgrade a couple of these. I still want to have some money, so let's just upgrade the ones that are most important. And then we're going back to the war. I actually forgot to do the one thing that I was supposed to do, which was go to edicts list and find one we wanted. Re-education campaign, land of opportunity. None of these are actually helpful. That's the funny part. Let's see, what kind of edicts do we have on a... None of these are actually useful because they hinder other things. Of course, you do end up with a net gain, but it's not really worth it. So let's just see how the ground battle goes. So as you can see, they have 2 defending forces. I'm attacking with 8 of mine.
Enemy
so
planet secured.
Surprise, surprise, I won. Now let's just send these guys straight to... I wanted to send you guys there. There we go. Now they'll siege. And we're going to send the army right after. We're just going to... The thing is, they'll recover even in the newly taken territory. And I'll just send them back over the border. because there's no good reason to keeping them.
Complete.
The enemy can't actually
Hostile
take back
fleet
their
detected.
land unless they have a army of their own, the same way. Unlocks policy, leader enhancement, selected lineages, very good. Now, naval capacity again, which would be good. Clone army, we can go full Star Wars, or yeah, we'll go naval capacity. No need to go full Star Wars just yet. It's kind of a useful because you can make a lot of armies quick, but other than that, there are better options when it comes to building your through army. But as I said here, we now got a new policy, leadership policy. No, leader enhancement policy, selected lineages. Because, as you can see, the leaders will be more expensive, but it will be better, and they'll last longer. So I can live with that. Now, let's see how Crusader goes. Because in theory, if I take this one, even though it doesn't actually have a... what's its name? Have a port. That should be enough war score to actually make them give up. Without me taking the last one.
Hostile fleet detected. Hostile fleet detected.
Yeah, it's not a hostile fleet, it's a hostile scout. There's a difference. It's a science vessel. It can look at me to death, which isn't really that scary. But as you can see, the damage to the planet will be more severe, but the siege will go quicker. I'm pretty sure I created a lot of those. Couldn't I in theory just boom this place until there was nothing left? I'm really tempted to just leave this on for a few more months and see if I create more blockers, because there should be a 10% chance of me killing one of these guys. Creating a blocker. Plasma trust is unlocked. Next step will be... I'm tempted to build robots. I'll be honest. So let's do that. Robotic workers. They're nice to have. I can also just place mostly robotic workers to cover the rest of the spots on the planets to keep my my percentages high. But the funny thing is that piece of wreckage is actually messing up the UI. So let's just do that. Let's take the one that doesn't run away. Passive stance, and we're going to research that wreckage. There we go. And once we take the planet now, it should be enough to actually force them into peaceful coexistence. Now, as you can see, inactive buildings basically means you have no one working a specific tile. And that's usually a result of people not... Well, you're just building up the tiles and people are actually not ready for it yet, which is perfectly fine. It's not really a big problem or anything. Oh, I built something big now, didn't I?
Research complete.
Well, it should be fine. Don't worry about it. We have co-fusion power now. Good. Do I want to just upgrade it once more? I am really, really tempted to just upgrade it once more. I'll be honest. Yeah, the only other thing it would be iron, but if I am up to antimatter, then I have nothing to fear in terms of power production for a very, very long time. New contact. We found new people. Debulans. So we've been finding a lot of new people lately. These two people are interesting. The two people over here, I forgot to mention them. I'm sorry about that. But they're Federation builders. What this means is that even if I am totally despicable, repugnant, terror bombing, and basically being evil, they will still be happy with me and cordial. In theory, I could potentially create an alliance with them. And I'm tempted to do that because if I can create an alliance and then a federation and have these two behind me, even though they're probably very, very weak, they'll be useful to have if I ever have a revolt due to conquering many different races and things like that. So in theory it could be good, but I don't know how it will actually work out in practice. That's the big question. So as you can see, I have 86% war score. Now if we were to negotiate, I can't negotiate for this one because I don't have it under my control, but usually the AI will just give up after suffering extended losses, like here. So you can see the best possible outcome. They surrendered, they seceded their planets. Let's just embark you guys, stop time. Send you guys back home. So in theory, after that first mistake, my fleet didn't really take any damage. But this is also a weakness of the AI, I have to say, because what basically happened here is that I took over everything and had no problems winning a war that in theory I had no business winning. Let's just be honest. So I'm a little bit disappointed in the AI for that, but it's new, it's still building, and I guess let's just be honest, the early game can't actually be that easy to design either, because it's hard to balance. Let's just be perfectly frank and honest here. So not really much you can do about that. But we're going to survey the new systems. I am going to go ahead and create a sector. And the way you do that is basically you just go planets, and as you can see, I have a sector limit of 3 right now. I can effectively control 3 sectors. So I'm going to create a new sector. I'm going to dump that one in. I could dump that one in. Crap. I want them to connect properly, so let's just do that. This will be their sector of whoever I conquer right now. I'm a little bit unsure how it works with the materials you mine in orbit, but we'll figure that out later. So here we have the quad boss sector, which is basically these guys. I want them to be financially focused, and I'm going to assign them a leader. So as you can see here, building costs, experience gain, blocker costs. This is actually good because blockers is going to be a big problem with the 3 worlds that we saw they had. So not really much they can do about that. But with this, we basically have a autonomous sector that we don't have to worry about. And as you can see, it doesn't go out of our directly controlled planets, which is good. And with that, I am going to just go ahead and build mining stations over there. And probably just keep on building mining stations, because I think they go in under my income, probably. So we'll have to see how that works. But I have a higher now naval capacity due to the fact that there is indeed a starbase over here that I did not destroy. And I can even use it to build things. Can I build another starbase here? I can't afford to build a starport, but I think I can if I had the money. So in theory I can do that to increase my naval limits even further if need be, and need probably will be when it comes to dealing with these guys, but for now I think I'll be fine. So the first war, raging success. I'm very tempted to just go straight after these guys before they create an alliance or something, but we'll have to see what we do next time. I'll have to find a way to get myself over there, because they definitely have they probably use hyperlanes, I'll be honest. But if I take these 3 planets and even destroy a dock, that should be enough to actually get it done. So we'll have to see how it works. I have no idea how I can get the lightning set to just vanish, but I will make them fade better. But right now I don't know. So I'll continue next time. We'll have to see how it works out. In terms of factions here, you can see that these guys want they want an independent sector. So we'll have to see how we handle that. We can grant them independence, we can suppress the media, or we can bribe their leaders. So again, it's hard. This is the thing, how it comes to handling them. They will, let's see, they will strike, reduced output, consolidate support. So again, it's going to be a little bit difficult to actually keep control of the area, and that is kind of why I wanted to just use the easy solution. As you see, happiness is 5%, recently conquered, they can't migrate, they don't have voting rights, they don't have leadership, they have no leadership rights whatsoever, so they're never going to be happy with me, which is why I kind of wanted to just burn them once and for all. Now the thing is, these guys are actually no, they're not anything that would actually allow me to, well, burn the world as it was. So sadly we'll probably have to look at that later, but for now the technocracy is going well, and we'll continue next time. Thank you for watching, see you then, bye.